Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liaoming. Homage to Master Sakya Tsongkhon. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Tubten Torture. Homage to the true choice of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, the subduer of Yamantaka, the Vajra Bhairava. Simon, Tansen Katsu, Tubten City, Tubten Kama. All Dharma masters, Dharma lecturers, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma tutors, directors, all folks, the Dharma centers and temples, all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon, how do you do? I would like to announce now for next Sunday, August 4th at 3 p.m. There would be Padma Kumara Homa fire offering ceremony. So Padma Kumara Homa and Padma Kumara is Grandmaster Lu's root or origin. When I was 26, at night, Golden Mother brought me to see my past. And he spoke into my ears that you are Padma Kumara. I remember it vividly. When I saw Padma Kumara then, I did not see a form, just very bright, brilliant white light. And then there's this name, Padma Kumara, or Lotus Youth, or Lotus Child. And then I discovered that in Sukhavati, on the surface of the meritorious water, there are many lotuses of different colors, and on top of them there are Padma Kumaras of different colors. And they turn out to be emanations of Amitabha Buddha. So we can say that Padma Kumara is True Buddha School's most primary yidam. Yamantaka in the past there was the Yama king. As we all know, Yama king. So that's what we call Yama king in Chinese. According to the Chinese tradition, there are the Yamas or Yama kings of the 10 Yama halls. And back then, these 10 Yama kings were very ferocious and harmed many beings. And when Manjushri Bodhisattva saw that, he transformed into a body that was very similar to the Yama king. So the appearance or the form of Yamantaka is that of the Yama king. So the tantric Yama king is riding on an ox or bull. And he also looked like a bull with 2 bull horns. So Yama king is riding on a bull. So many people mistake the Yama king to be Yamantaka. Actually, that's wrong. Yamantaka has many arms, many faces, and many legs. And at the topmost is Manjushri Bodhisattva. So Manjushri Bodhisattva emanated deity who subdued the Yama king, and that's called the subduer of Yama or Yamantaka. That's Vajra Bhairava. So similar but not exactly the same. Yamantaka looks similar but not exactly the same as the Yama king. So if you read the book, The Light of Yamantaka, it's the biography of Ra Vatsawa. So Yamantaka, we can say, is a protector with the greatest power. The solitary hero Yamantaka has 1 face, 2 arms, and 2 legs. This is the wrathful manifestation. And Yamantaka also has the 6 arms, 6 legs, and 6 faces on a green ox. And also with 16 or with 32 faces, 36 arms, which is called the 13 Yamantakas. So there are many appearances of Yamantaka. And in the book, The Light of Yamantaka, he wrote that Yamantaka was just really incredible. He could subdue everything. He could also subdue the 4 maras. Mara of afflictions, the celestial Mara, afflictions, Mara of illness, and Mara of death. So, utilizing Yamantaka, you can stand against the Yama king. That's why he's called the subduer of Yama. He's the root protector of Guru Tsongkhapa. At the beginning, my protector was Yamantaka. And then there was also Akalanata, and now also Mahabala. So I have many protectors, including Yamantaka. In the very beginning, when I was practicing, the protector is Yamantaka. That's why the main deity at the Heruka Hall or Protector Hall at the Rainbow Temple is Yamantaka. That's the mantra. He's an extremely majestic and great Vajra protector. There are symbols representing Yamantaka. Yamantaka has the same Dhamma power as the Buddha. Same. Master Chen Jianming has said, if you have Yamantaka as your protector deity, or as your root protector, you need to always visualize yourself to be Yamantaka. That's why Master Chen Jianming said, if you want to pass through a door, you need to visualize that you have 2 horns on your head. So you need to lower your head to make sure that you can pass through the door, because you always visualize yourself to be Yamantaka. So whether you're walking, sitting, sleeping, or lying, that you have the majesty of Yamantaka. So you often visualize you have the bull horns on your head. His majestic power is boundless. Now let's tell some jokes. Why? When we eat a hot pot, pork and lamb, but not pork. Is there pork too? Fatty beef and fatty lamb, but not fatty pork. Because the fatty pig is the one that's eating it. Hot pot has high calorie. It's another joke about mentally ill patient. A new doctor came to the psychiatric ward, and everybody loves him. And people were very surprised and asked the patient, "Why do you like this doctor?" And the patient said, "Because this doctor is the same as us." But the other doctors were the mad doctors. Last night I was talking about the electric pole, and all the psychiatrists asked them that we're about to take down the pole, and then he still didn't come down. But another mentally ill patient told him the same thing: "Come down, or else I'll cut this pole." And he did come down. And then, "Why? We told you to come down and you didn't want to." But when the other mentally ill person did, you came down, because he will cut the pole. A taxi driver in the deep of the night was carrying a woman with a basket of apples, and she's chewing on apples, and said that before death, "I love eating apples." So the taxi driver was so shocked and trembled. Maybe that's a ghost. But afterwards, this is a play of word Chinese. Not when I was alive, but before I gave birth. And after giving birth, I don't like it that much. Let me ask you a question. The news on the newspaper are not 100% true, but there's some news that's for sure is not fake. The answer is the dates. Only the dates are truthful. The daughter asked the father, "Who has the hardest tongue in the world?" The daughter asked the dad, "Who has the hardest tummy in the world?" And dad replied, "It should be Ninja Turtle, right? The belly is hard." And the daughter said, "I'm not talking about a comic character, but a human." And the daughter said, "This is also a Chinese pun." Yeah. hard tongue. This is only Chinese, only understood by Chinese. The teacher was mad and asked, "Who ate this banana peel on the ground?" And Xiaoming stood up and said, "The banana peel? I don't know who ate that, but I ate the banana." Now, 2 questions. Why every time we put the fireworks, it would not hit the stars? This is also Chinese pun, because the stars twinkle, but also means avoid it. Oh, another question. Which wheel will not turn when you turn the car? It's the spare tire, spare wheel. Now to the main topic and Q&A. Hanli from Singapore. Question. Homitsu Grandmaster. After committing suicide, a person needs to continuously relive the scene of their suicide in the bardo until the predetermined lifespan ends, and they are likely to fall into the 3 lower realms afterward. Grandmaster, may I practice the substitution body ritual to alleviate their suffering in bardo? So, which yidam should I practice, or which mantra or sutra should be recited to best help those who died from committing suicide? I don't know. I have never done that. They can think of these things. It's not simple. To practice the substitution body ritual for those who died from suicide to alleviate their suffering. I don't know, never thought of it. And to do the body substitution, so the substitution, the paper, is reliving the scene of the suicide. So Henry from Singapore. It's good too that you could think for them. So which yidam should be practiced? Or which sutra or mantra should be decided? That's most effective to deliver those who died from suicide. Anybody knows the answer? So which yidam? If someone committed suicide, which yidam to deliver, and which sutra or mantra to deliver? Anybody can give the answer? You were so good with the answer to the riddles earlier, but now you don't know the answer. Think about it. Actually, I've never thought of this issue, this question that they ask. It's outside of what I ever think. For those who committed by suicide to practice substitution body or to chant sutra or mantra in which yidam, I never thought of it. Maybe I should ask the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I practice substitution body ritual to alleviate the suffering in the bardo. They said performing substitution body ritual to alleviate the suffering of those committed suicide in the bardo, according to the guidance of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, already give a good score for the practitioner, that he could, just by thinking that you want to perform the substitution body ritual for those who committed suicide, already given credit or merit by thinking of that. And for the sutra mantra yidam, so whichever yidam or mantra of the yidam of the practitioner, it does not mean you use the same yidam for everybody. So you just recite the mantra and perform the Dharma practice of your own yidam and perform the bardo deliverance. That would be good. So everyone is different. Some people practice Siddhigarbha as their yidam, and then they chant Siddhigarbha's heart mantra and perform Siddhigarbha sadhana. If your yidam is Amitabha, then you perform Amitabha sadhana and chant Amitabha's mantra. So by relying on your own yidam would generate the greatest power. The same with chanting mantra. So everyone is different. So Henry from Singapore, whatever yidam you practice that, and then recite the sutra and mantra of that yidam and perform bardo deliverance, and that would be effective. That's the answer of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I've never thought of it myself. Now we are expounding on the Vimalakirti Sutra. And here next is Bodhisattva Universal God who spoke. And what is Universal God Bodhisattva? When I saw this, I thought of Master Pu Fang, which is one of my masters in Tantric Buddhism. And his Dharma brother is called Puli. So they are the generation with names starting from Pu, and he gave grandmasters a Dharma name, Yuan Ci. Yuan, like perfect, Ci, like pond, like Maha Twin Lotus Pond. So round pond. See, we have 2 round ponds at the Rainbow Temple. Maha Twin Lotus Ponds. So that's my Dharma name given by Master Pu Fang. So what is Pu So? Pu is everything, universal, or leading, or overall, all good things. That's called universal guarding. So he can be in charge of the general of all the goodness. So Pu means universally or generally. Like Pu Fang is the overall directions, up and down in the 8 directions. That's for Master Pu Fang. So he is the general, or for the overall directions that he could deliver, and that's called Pu Fang. And then Pu Li, Master Pu Li, that means it's the top commander of all the power, that his power can reach everywhere. So the overall or universal power. So Pu So, universal guard, which means that you can command or the universal of all good things. And he said self and no self are dualistic. And most people say, my house is mine, my car is mine. That's with self. And without self, that car is not mine. It's publicly owned. So not mine. Everyone can use it. It's public, not private. That's no self. It's just examples. And for houses, that's my house. And it's my house, so people cannot just come as they like, because it's mine. But like hotels, it's not my house. So anybody can stay there as long as you pay. So mine and not mine, are two things. If even the self cannot be attained, how can the non-self be attained? Those who see the true nature of the self no longer arise in duality. This is entering the Dhamma gate of non-duality. In studying this self, there is no such thing as self. So self is the same as no self. Simple, because every one of us comes from the same origin. We were all germs, microbes that can be seen with naked eyes. We are all germs. One is a long germ and the other one is a round germ, combined, and gradually they transform. Like viruses mutate, and humans also mutate from one long germ and one round germ, and combined they become a human. So Buddhist sutras talk about it very clearly. Earth, water, fire, and wind. Humans cannot be apart from these four elements. Earth refers to the bones and flesh. Water is what's needed, like blood. All the secretion are considered water. Fire is the temperature, body temperature. And wind is the air you breathe. So that's the four elements, nothing else. So you are the transformation or mutation of germs or microbes. So let me tell you, your whole body is filled with microbes. Even now. So the number of microbes in your body is 30 is as many as the population of the world. I think that's in science, that the microbes inside a human body is about 3 trillions. And the population of humans on earth are not that many. How can we be healthy? Because it's balance. And if you have imbalance, then you would be unhealthy. So by maintaining the balance of your body, when you harmonize the 4 elements, then your body will be healthy. If you have a majority or more element, one of the 4 elements, then you would have problems related to that. And in TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, you would say the 4 elements are not harmonized. If the 4 elements are harmonized, then you're healthy. Otherwise, you would be sick. The Ayurveda healing treatment is, if you lack something, then you use the element. You fix or you tonify that element. So if you lack If you're deficient in water, then you add water. If you're deficient in fire, then you add fire, or earth, or chi, or prana. So it talks about supplementing the elements, but not the man-made of medicines, because a lot of them use antibiotics to fight the viruses or the germs, the bacteria. But the germs can mutate. Perhaps you can control it for now, but after multiple times, they don't die, and they mutate, and they would come again. And then one day, it can be cured by antibiotics like COVID-19. Then at that time, everybody would get it. But if you have your 4 elements harmonized and balanced, then wherever you go, you don't need a mask. Because even if the germs get into your body, it would be neutralized inside your body and will not generate any transformation, and then you would not get sick. So you don't need for mask. But those who are wearing masks is because they have weak immune system. If someone with pneumonia is close to you, then you get it because your body was not balanced. So the healing principle of Ayurveda is to balance and harmonize the earth, water, fire, and wind inside the body. And your own microbes are very strong. So whatever germs that invade into your body can be neutralized and harmonized by your own microbes inside the body. And then you will not get sick. That's the healing principle of Ayurveda. So you supplement whatever is deficient inside your body, and not using medicines, but using diet and food. Because with medicine, it's only suppression, and it will still come out again with side effects. I very rarely get the fevers. Like people get COVID-19, like Reverend Bien, she got 4 times. And we were in the same room, the painting room, and I didn't wear any mask. When she wanted to cough, she went to the bathroom, and then everybody in that building ran away because they were all afraid of the germs at the TBSN. And but we're in the same room because her own body already ailing, not healthy, because her 4 elements are not balanced. So whenever there's a germ gets in, she cannot fight against it. So it's called Selamat Siang. So the cells in your body are very strong. So if there's a pneumonia, germs, there are germs everywhere. Even when they get into your body, they would live in harmony with your own microbes, and you will not get sick. But if you take antibiotics once, twice, 3 times, and then the germs would mutate, and then one day there are no medicines that can cure or counter it, then you're dead for sure. That's according to Ayurveda. So I constitute of the 4 elements, and when they disintegrate, the elements disintegrate, there is no I or self. Who is the self? You. Who are you? The you today is different from the you yesterday. And if you have a diarrhea all day, then the next morning you look at yourself, wow, you changed. And then you have diarrhea for 3 days straight, then all your muscles disappeared and you lost weight just by having diarrhea for 3 days. That's not you anymore. You've changed into someone else. Some people are very healthy, but as soon as they get sick, immediately their hair turns white, the brows, the beard turn white. So how could that be you? That's not you anymore. So what you see today is different from what you see tomorrow. Especially between the self at youth and the current self now. Completely different. When I was young, I took out the photo of when I was young. Wow, that's so hot, cool, handsome. That's Sung Yan Lu. But the current, this one is also Sung Yan Lu, but the two are different. It's even better now. But it's different, right? Which one is you? Which one is I? Actually, that's no self. And one day when I leave, the person is gone. That's emptiness. Sung Yan Lu is gone. Even if I'm reincarnated, I would not be called Sung Yan Lu. That's how it is. So self and no self are two. But if you understand and you have clear vision, then you know that self does not exist. They are just an aggregate of the 4 elements or of all kinds of microbes, microorganisms. And one day when you get sick, you disappear, and everyone is the same, would become non-existent. So whether it is existent or non-existent, now you exist only for the moment. Most importantly is the mind, but even the mind also is non-existent. You cannot find this mind. Which is what we call, only what we call Buddha nature is forever existent, exists eternally. It's unrelated to the physical body. So self is no self, is non-existent. Self or I don't exist. So let alone non-self. So both self and no self are non-existent. And the person who truly sees this true reality, the proof that self and no self are both non-existent, That's the Dharma gate of non-duality. All that is left is Buddha nature. The true nature is Buddha nature, but outer appearance is non-existent. Once they disintegrate or separate it, they are non-existent. So the Buddhist sutras speak mostly very profundities. No self, no self. About if there is effort, then that's self. If there is no effort, there is no self. Some people say if you do things intentionally, then you have self. But if you just do it naturally, according to affinity, going with the flow, that's non-self. As Buddhists, we know about following affinities, like Grandmaster Lu, just delivering sentient beings following affinities, so I or self do not exist. I just deliver sentient beings naturally with skillful means, transforming sentient beings, speaking Dharma. But most importantly is to recognize your own Buddha nature. Once you recognize your own Buddha nature, then you can have attainment. Then you will be called the Vajra who understand your self nature. The 16th Dhamma Karmapa told me that you should have often or always have light in your heart mind, and that's the value of your own life. As long as you have clear light radiance in your heart mind, that's the value of your human life. Without clear light radiance inside your heart mind, and so living is the same as not living, as if your life is worthless, basically. That's the 16th Karmapa told me. You have to have clear light radiance inside your heart mind. That's the value of your life. If you have no clear light radiance inside your heart mind, no purity, what use is living in this world? You're just germs. You're just microbes, microorganisms. Do the microbes have you or I? So self and no self are irrelevant or non-existent for the microbes. So this is very important. Spiritual cultivation is to cultivate our own clear light radiance inside the heart mind and the purity inside our heart mind. That's all. That's the worth of your life. Otherwise, you're just a germ. There's this verse that a mouthful of water contains 84,000 germs. If you don't chant mantras, then that's the same as killing beings. Antibiotics, they all kill the microorganism inside your body, killing all the germs. And then one day, when they become resistant, then they become cancer that cannot be cured with medicine. Once you use antibiotics, then your body will not be able to adjust or to harmonize your 4 elements anymore. Then you would start having cancer, tumors, and other ailments, immune disease, autoimmune diseases. So this is talking about, and also talking about Ayurveda and what are the illnesses we have. Like you have some virus or bacteria and you take antibiotics and you continue taking them until eventually they become resistant to it. But in Ayurveda, whatever you're deficient, then you supplement that. So you supplement the earth or the water or the fire or the wind or air, and using a diet of food. Most importantly is what you eat. And if that doesn't help, you can also take herbal medicine that's compared to the pills, the medication of the modern world. So I especially added the Ayurveda principles. Recently, I've been studying this. So it just happened that we talk about self and no self. It's very simple. A human is just comes from a microbe. And inside our body, there are lots of germs, as many as the population in the world. And you think that the world is the realm or the world of humans. That's wrong. It's the world of the germs, microorganism. How come you become a human? And from one long germ and one round germ together, united, and then transform, and you become a human. And see, you don't even know about your own self inside your body. And if you do, then you know that I do not exist. But that's self, and no self also does not exist. There's no need to have self or no self. So in our Buddhist cultivation is to generate clear light radiance and purity inside our heart mind.